Hi, I'm Josh. I recently had the opportunity of recording a demo with the CEO of Estuary. Estuary has a great ingestion platform that allows you to move data from a handful of different sources to a handful of different destinations, including Databricks, Snowflake, etc. Now, I am an advisor to them, so I might be biased when I say that I think it's a great tool. So check out the demo, and if you like what you see, try it out yourself. Enjoy, and thank you again for watching.
It's a streaming system under the hood that does basically three things. It captures data from sources. This is where CDC happens. Then it transports and transforms that data. And finally, it keeps a low latency view in destinations. It can be both batch and streaming, so it's a little bit different than most things out there. We integrate with lots of different sources out of the box. Both SaaS systems in addition to CDC, using CDC for SQL systems. But we also integrate with file stores and basically, anything that you hopefully want. I'm going to take a look at a quick capture that we already have set up. This is from a Google Cloud SQL Postgres instance, and can show you how you would actually go about configuring this. So the first thing you do is enter configuration information. We'll automatically find all the tables and schemas we have access to, kick off a backfill, stitch that together with real-time streaming to make sure that we have an exact copy of your source ingested into the system. Schema evolution will ensure that columns are automatically kept up to date, whether that column changes. You're changing a type from maybe an integer to a number and you want to change that downstream as well, or you add a column and this reacts instantaneously. So within seconds, we'll actually be able to add that column to the destination and ensure that the first record is captured. And that's a pretty hard problem to be able to do that. So once you have tables that come into the system, since we're a streaming system, we actually have a concept that's similar to Kafka. It's called a collection, whereas Kafka has topics. The big difference between Kafka and Estuary is that our collections are natively backed by cloud storage and stored in the customer's cloud storage. You can actually configure it here. If you do that, they become a data lake that can be used for as long as you want to store data. You can set a retention limit if you don't want to store it forever, but if you do, you could store it literally forever. That enables an audit log and the cheapest possible storage, but it also lets us be a one-to-many system or a many-to-many system. So we can capture data today from that Google Postgres instance that I talked about and send it to Databricks today, and maybe tomorrow you actually want to send it directly to Delta Lake, and we could do that as well without having to go back to the source and recapture it. The last thing that the collections do is enables real-time transformations. They source from one or many collections, and then they use SQL or TypeScript to create a new collection. I won't go into that too much, but they're pretty powerful, millisecond latency. All right, so finally, let's talk about destinations. We support lots of different destinations, things like Iceberg with merge queries, Databricks out of the box, and so on and so forth. There's even a Kafka connector you can pull from us as if for Kafka. But let's go into a Databricks connector that I already have set up. They're pretty straightforward, just like the source connectors are. Put in some configuration information, and we'll automatically connect to the system. From there, we have a sync schedule that's kind of cool. This lets you sync more frequently, sometimes of the day, to save money on destination bills. So you're not constantly doing merge queries into your destination when no one's looking at the data. So the way that this is set up, it's going to do 30-minute syncs between 8 and 6 p.m., Monday to Friday. Outside of that time period, it will only sync every 4 hours. There's dbt integrations and other bells and whistles like that. But in general, this is pretty straightforward to set up. You'll get merge queries into your destination system. If you want to instead get an append log, you can click this button. So I'll keep it really fast and simple. There's things like monitoring that you can use to figure out how much data has gone through any of these connectors. And we have, an open metrics integration to be able to pull information when there's a failure or something like that into the monitoring system of your choice. But really, that's the high level of how the system works.